Part 2, Echoes of a Smile. The fog had lifted slightly, but Alexander's thoughts remained clouded. As he walked toward his coach, his pace slowed not from exhaustion, but from the weight of emotions tangled inside him. His boots echoed against the platform, each step pulling him further from the stranger who now lived in his mind like a favourite song he'd only heard once. His hands were tucked into the deep pockets of his coat, head slightly bowed, brows drawn. Her eyes, her voice, the soft touch of her glove as she dubbed coffee off his coat, it all danced vividly in his thoughts. He could still feel the warmth of that moment stubborn against the cold air. He reached his coach, pausing at the iron steps. Should I turn around? Would it be desperate? Or romantic? Would she think I'm some puss or clinging to a fantasy? He bit his lip. Maybe she was just just a polite stranger who happened to cross his path and knock over his coffee and his equilibrium. Maybe it meant nothing to her. A smile, a sorry, a few casual words, and that was it. He sighed and looked up at the coach door, towering before him like the gate to the next chapter of his life. He closed his eyes for a moment and tilted his face towards the sky, whispering into the grey morning. What are you doing with me, God? Is this just some game, or are you trying to teach me something? There was no answer, just silence thick and persistent. Then a soft defiance sparked in him. He opened his eyes and muttered, "No, even if this is nothing, even if she forgets me by the time she reaches her seat, she still deserves my last glance. She shook something in me I didn't even know could move. It's worth one last look." He turned slowly, heart racing, scanning the platform where she had disappeared. But she wasn't there. The bench was empty. The fog was thicker again. She was gone. A hollow breath left his lungs. So this is it. He turned back, a bittersweet smile curling his lips. God really loves cliffhangers, he whispered. Maybe that was all she was meant to be, just a trailer to a movie I'll never get to watch. And so he climbed the steps and boarded the train, the door closing behind him with a hiss that sounded like the final note of a dream. Next scene. Inside the coach, Alexander sank into his seat. The warmth of the compartment greeted him like a comforting hug, but his heart was still out there somewhere on that platform. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees, and rested his chin on clasped hands. His eyes twinkled with memory, and a quiet smile tugged at the corner of his lips. His finger ran along his bottom lip gently, as if erasing her memory from it. Focus on your goal, Alexander. You've got an exam tomorrow. But no matter how hard he tried, her laugh, her eyes, her clumsy apology, everything about her was stitched into his thoughts. Still, he whispered, leaning back against the seat. What a start to the journey. Don't know how many surprises are left, or maybe that was the only one. The soft hum of the train lulled him into a light nap. The gentle rocking of the coach, the muffled announcements, and the warmth made it impossible to resist. He drifted off, holding onto the last image of her smile like a lullaby. Next scene. A sudden screech of brakes jolted him awake. His head bowed forward, and he barely caught himself before falling over. He rubbed his eyes, blinking toward the window. The sign outside read his destination. "Oh God, my station," he gasped, shooting up. "I slept through the whole ride." He scrambled to gather his bag, muttering under his breath, "Sometimes I'm too damn careless. One day I'll sleep through life itself." He rushed toward the exit, only to find the narrow passage blocked. A man stood there, arms flailing, surrounded by an avalanche of luggage. Alexander stared in disbelief. "Sir, are you migrating to another planet or just visiting family?" The man gave him an apologetic look. "Apologies, it's my wife's packing. I told her we don't need 4 bags for a weekend trip, but you know how it goes." "Right, marriage, a wonderful strategy to ruin train logistics." Alexander sighed and helped him with the bags, but as they finally began to move, the train did too. No, move fast, I'm going to miss my station," he cried, half crawling, half running to the door with his backpack flailing behind him. He jumped out just as the train started gaining speed, nearly tripping over the platform tiles. He landed on his feet barely, his coat twisted, his hair messy, and his pride slightly wounded. "What a ride," he muttered, brushing himself off. "And what kind of man brings a piano-sized suitcase on a train, honestly?" He looked around the platform. It was nearly deserted. Still, his eyes searched. "Why am I looking? She's in that train. Maybe she saw me wrestling with the luggage like a clown and is laughing from the window right now." The train was slowly disappearing around the bend, the last coach sliding away like the final line of a poem. Alexander stood there, eyes fixed on the rails. Was she still on board? Did she see him? Did he miss his last chance? His heart thudded. "Just one more glimpse, please. God, you owe me that." Then, "Whom are you looking at?" The voice. That voice. He froze. "No, it can't be." He closed his eyes. "Please, God, let it be her." And then a doubt. What if she's talking to someone else? He opened his eyes slowly, a nervous rack of hope and fear. "Did you lose something on the train?" the voice teased behind him. "Or did someone else manage to spill coffee on you again, you poor soul?" His chest flipped, that tone half mocking, half angelic. He didn't hesitate this time. He turned. And there she was. Smiling, eyes glinting, beautiful as ever. He almost laughed in disbelief. She's here, she's real, and she's talking to me. She looked at him with a playful smirk and waved her hand at him with a "what's wrong with you" gesture. Well, what's with the dreamy look? You were just scowling at that poor man with 10 bags. Now you're grinning like you won a lottery. Alexander finally spoke, voice soft and full of awe. No, I just got it, the prize. She raised an eyebrow. The prize? He smiled wider. Yeah, God didn't just give me surprises today, He gave me a sequel. To be continued.